It's Wednesday, the 27th of September 2023. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Jennifer Duke.
Good morning, Michael.
Jen, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get going. Story number 1, Australia's top technology leaders have spoken out to back the Yes campaign for the Indigenous voice to Parliament. Now, this is all with about 2.5 weeks or so left until the nation goes to vote.
That's right. So an open letter and a statement from the tech sector was published yesterday to support the voice. And they say it gives Indigenous Australians a new forum to help find solutions for deep-seated problems. It's actually being led by Canva, which has stayed out of the public debate on this issue until now, but it also includes major venture capitalists. That's Blackbird's Rick Baker and Square Peg's Paul Bassett. The open letter says that an advisory body isn't just a symbolic step, but actually a pragmatic one, and that it's time to move away from a top-down approach to one that includes lived experience. There's some other major names and groups now supporting the Yes campaign and signing the letter. That includes What If founder Graham Wood. The Tech Council of Australia, that's helmed by Tesla chair Robin Denham, has also come out in support of the Yes campaign this week.
Yeah, right now, public support is really languishing, isn't it, for the voice, with major polls indicating that the no vote is likely to win.
That's right. And a new Roy Morgan poll was actually published yesterday that shows just that. The no vote is currently ahead at 44% compared to 39% for yes. The no vote's up 8 percentage points since May. And while other polls have had the no vote ahead for a while, it's the first time in Roy Morgan's survey that it swung to the no side. There are 17% out there who are still undecided, but the experience of past votes is that those who don't yet know are more likely to choose no.
Okay, moving on to story number 2 now, Jen, and ChatGPT has spoken its first words. The company backing the tech, OpenAI, has released a new version of the artificial intelligence-driven chatbot that can now interact in speech and respond to spoken commands and queries. This feels like it has happened very quickly.
It has happened very quickly. It's a very big step forward for ChatGPT. And also, it can now interact with images. So there was an example provided that it can look at a picture of different food items, say in your fridge, and suggest recipes. And this new amped-up version of ChatGPT is being rolled out really quickly. So those who subscribe to the Plus service will get it over the next fortnight. And it's going to put it on more of a competitive footing with Amazon's Alexa or Apple's Siri.
This technology is it is taking gigantic steps, so it is fascinating to watch where it heads. Story number 3, Jen, ANZ has been fined $15 million for misleading customers over the funds and balances on their credit cards.
That was the outcome of a federal court hearing, and it followed allegations raised against the bank by the Australian Securities and Investments Commission last year. So ASIC had said that between May 2015 and November 2018, there were about 166,000 customers who were slugged with cash advance fees and interest for withdrawing or transferring the funds. But it was based on inaccurate account balances showing on ATMs, their app, and even on online banking. And it wasn't a small amount, with some customers actually facing thousands of dollars in extra fees and the average per account worth $47. ANZ has paid it all back, though.
Story number 4, Australian households are going solar in record numbers. The Clean Energy Regulator has counted an extra 1.4 gigawatts worth of rooftop solar being added to the grid over the first half of the year, and it seems to be ramping up for this half.
So the last record was set in 2021, and that was when 3.2 gigawatts were added to the grid. And the energy regulator now thinks we'll surpass this record with one of the biggest 6 months ever of rooftop solar installation. But large projects aren't keeping up, so the regulator is downgrading its expectations for those bigger industrial projects as bottlenecks and planning problems slow that transition to renewables. But in the meantime, households are really picking up the slack. They're running to the sun amid the cost of living crisis, with electricity costs soaring and people trying to cut expenses where possible.
Last one, Jen, story number 5. Australian leaders will head to the UK in early November for the world's first major global artificial intelligence safety summit, and they'll be going to Bletchley Park, which, if it sounds familiar, it may be because you've seen the movie The Imitation Game. Bletchley Park is the historic workplace of mathematician and codebreaker Alan Turing, who was, of course, behind the breaking of the German Enigma code during World War II.
So it's a really symbolic choice of location from the British government because it's where the first mass data collection took place, although using handwritten note cards for top secret war effort. And it's even inspired television shows like The Bletchley Circle, much, much better than The Imitation Game. The Global Summit is actually expected to focus on creating a framework for AI to manage risks around its development and how to govern it on a global basis. It's going to be a pretty high-profile event as well, with King Charles actually hosting a reception for guests.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Jen.
Thanks, Michael.
That was Jennifer Duke, economics correspondent for Capital Brief. It is Wednesday, the 27th of September 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.